Hi, I'm Miss Kim, the Art Link instructor at the Music Connection Conservatory of Music and Art, and I'm really excited about teaching you how to make a tactile sensory product called salto. It's a very simple recipe. It requires 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of salt, and 1 cup of water. All you do is measure them out, put them in a bowl such as this, and you want to use one hand to mix to keep, because that's going to become your monster hand with the wet products, and you're going to mix it and mix it until you create a dough in your bowl. It will look like this, and this is in an airtight container which you want to store your dough. Here is mine. As you can see, can kind of form to the bowl, but I can lift it out, as you can see, and take it out, and there's my dough. So this is what you get with the ingredients of the flour, salt, and water. Again, 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, and 1 cup of water. Now, the other container you can use, if you don't have a stainless steel one with a lid, you can use a Tupperware container like this with the lid to keep it in. You could label it when you made it, the year, and to keep it fresh, and then put the lid on it to keep it airtight, okay? So you do not have to have a stainless steel container. So then let's begin making the dough. So, couple important points before we begin. 1, you want to make sure your hands are nice and clean and dry. Soap and water, dry them really well. You want to make sure your surface, ideally a kitchen table, washed and dry, nice and clean and ready for you to work, okay? And then you can start making your dough, which was, again, 2 cups of flour. So here's 1 cup. This is filled completely and leveled off and measured into the bowl, and then another cup again, and then leveled off. That makes your flour measurement. 1 cup of salt. I didn't have enough today, but you get the idea. It's a 1 cup measurement. It says 1 cup. And you would fill it to the top, level it off, and pour it into your bowl. And then 1 cup of water in a pourable measuring, wet measuring glass container or whatever you have, and pour it in. And then you would mix it with your hand. One hand is good because it'll get really messy. You want a dry hand so you can have free. And you'll mix it until you create the dough. The dough should look like this once it's made. If it's kind of wet still, add more flour just by a little bits of handfuls at a time to create your dough. If it's too dry, just add a little more water to it until you get this kind of effect, okay? It'll have some graininess in it. It will be smooth, but that's what your dough should look like. I'm going to move these products out of the way for now so we can start working with the dough and the things you can do with the dough. That's fun. So I'm moving everything aside for a moment here, and I am going to move my dough right here. I'm going to take a little bit of the flour and shake it onto my surface of my table in the kitchen. So if I make any mess, we can easily wash the table after we're done with a wet cloth really good, and then we can use a window spray it and wipe it clean with a paper towel. Even if you have a wood table, you could do those same steps to clean up. It's an easy cleanup, okay? So I sprinkled a little extra flour to create like a barrier from the dough to the table, or it'll stick. And I can just take my clean hand and move my dry flour onto the table of my surface of my table so I can prepare it to put the dough on. Next, I'll take my dough that I have and put it onto the table. And with my hands, I'm just going to enjoy pressing it down and working with it and manipulating it. Look, I could do fun, crazy shapes with it. Isn't that kind of fun with kneading it, your dough? And you could just use your hands. You could turn it around. And if you get some flour in it, it's okay. And I'm just pushing it down with my hand in my palm of my hand. I'm pushing it down. I'm just kind of rolling it. I could roll it into a big snake if I want, put some eyes and a mouth with my fingers. I could make it a skinnier snake and just make it thinner and roll it out with my fingers for fun. Isn't that fun? So you could just have fun making shapes with your dough for fun, however you would like, and you could roll it with your hands. It might take a little bit. You just pick it up and roll it like so. And just have fun playing with it and getting used to playing with your dough. Now, some important things that you get from playing with your dough is what they call fine motor skills. It is all the muscles in your hands and your wrist that get strengthened, that build dexterity, that help you to work with the dough and build those skills, those fine motor skills. The other thing is you can take your dough and add what they call essential oil. It's a little bottle. They have lavender, they have rose oil, and they have many others. You could smell which one you like and add a couple drops in your dough and then mix it in with the oil into the dough. And as you do, it will penetrate the dough, meaning go inside the dough, and scent it. So you'll have a beautiful scented dough to work with, and sometimes it's a great stress reliever, like a stress ball. You can squeeze it and you can smell the aroma, and it's from the essential oil, and it's almost like aromatherapy. So that can be a lot of fun. The other things you can do is you could push it down with your hands and do some free forming. I'm going to make the shape of a circle with my hands just by pushing the dough around like that. Isn't that fun? So you can do that too. And here's my circle just by using my hands. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. You can put your handprint in it like that and lift it out, and there's your handprint. That's kind of fun. You can squeeze it all up again, your dough, and knead it. Get all those little pieces off your hands and put it back into the big dough. And keep working that dough. You can put on some fun music while you're working. I'm going to now make a shape of a box or a square with all four sides are the same size. That's what a square is. There's another shape you can make. Let's see if you can do it. See how I use my hands to do that? And take your time. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay. It's just for fun. Say you want to make a triangle. Let's take our hands and smush that dough and form it like so. Now we have a three-sided shape. 1, 2, 3, a triangle. See, you can do this too. Almost looks like a tree shape. If you think about it, I could see a tree. Can you? Okay, I can even make a rectangle with it. You can do this as well. Take your time. A rectangle is short on the sides and long this way. There's my rectangle. You can make yours as long as you want, but make sure you have it long and then short this way. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just try your best to do that. Now, after you've learned your shapes, hey, let's try making the alphabet. I happen to have 100-piece set of cookie cutters I bought from Wilton Cakes. You can maybe have your parents buy it online or use what you have at home. Let's start with shapes. So, I have the triangle. I can push it down like that. I have the rectangle. I have a diamond shape, like a diamond ring. I have a pentagon. It's a 5 sided shape. I also have a arrow in my cookie cutter set. Look at that. Okay. And I also have an octagon, like a stop sign, a plus sign, like you do for math. And I even have a little hand sign saying hi. So I'm going to roll this out now and squeeze it, and we're going to start with other things. So you can do shapes like we just said, with free forming with your hands or with cookie cutters, and you can push all the way through and take the shape out if you want. If you do that, you can use a spatula like this and push underneath your shape and lift it out. I think I'll show you a demonstration of that now. And what I have here is a cookie sheet with parchment paper on it, so your dough doesn't stick. I think we'll go with the triangle. Let's give this a try. So I'm going to push it down all the way through, and I'm going to wiggle it a little, and lift it straight up. And then I'm going to try to take it out by moving out the rest of this dough away from the shape. If you need to help get it out of there, you can push down with this spatula to get it out of your dough like that. And there's your triangle, and then we could try to lift it up and put it on your cookie sheet with the parchment, and then just reform it a little bit if you need to, like I'm doing with my fingers. See, I have my triangle shape on the parchment paper. See, that worked out really well. So I'm going to move these shapes out of the way. What other things can we do? Well, let's try making the alphabet. I have ABCs, so like I said, you can take A. Here's A. Let's do B. And I'm just pushing down and having fun learning my alphabet. And C. ABC. Okay, let's try numbers. 1. Take it away. 2. And 3. Look at that. I just pressed in ABCs and 1, 2, 3. So you can learn your alphabet and numbers. Okay, I'm going to take it and just knead it again. And I'm picking up some of that flour. If I have to put a little more flour on my surface, I can do that. And I can move this around with my hand and coat my surface again and knead the dough onto the floured, clean surface. And I'm going to do my name. Are you ready? Miss Kim is going to do her name. I'm using my palm to make it nice and smooth, the dough. So I'm going to use the letter K, I, M. That's how you spell my name, Kim. Maybe you want to spell your name. So I'm taking my letters out so you can see. There they are. That's Miss Kim's name. You can make your name. Also, I've got a music note. Isn't that fun? I could press that down and pull it out. Do you like to play music? I love to listen to music and sometimes play it. All right, I'm going to knead my dough again. Let's see, what else can we learn? And I bet if you put the aroma essential oil in, you'll have such a pretty scented dough as you're working. You could smell the dough as you're working. How much fun would that be? All right, so now I can say I'm a boy and I love dinosaurs, or even a girl. I've got dinosaur cookie cutters. And I will go ahead and push them in And I have a T-Rex even. He's the biggest guy and the most ferocious. Okay, so you can do that. I'm going to roll up my dough, knead it again, flour my surface. Let's try making some things that are sports oriented. Do you like to watch sports on TV or go to a baseball game? Well, I have a baseball bat and a ball. I like to watch hockey on TV or Chicago Blackhawks. And there's a puck and there's the stick. Or I love watching people play tennis. Look at, there's a tennis racket. Oh, a little dough got caught. That's okay. And a ball. You just can add the dough right back into your big piece of dough. What else can we do? Let's roll it up. I'm having fun. My muscles in my hands and my wrists are getting nice and strong while I'm working with my dough. I bet yours are too. And that's good. You want them to be strong. Okay, then I can make a fun shape like a star. I can make another sport I forgot, football. If you like football. Let's see, how about a gingerbread man for the holidays? That's kind of fun, right? Let's keep kneading our dough. What else can we do? Oh, I know. How about different seasons or holidays? Let's see. I'm going to get my dough ready and press it down with my palm of my hand. This is a padded part. Push it down to make it nice and smooth. And I'm going to do Thanksgiving with a turkey. I'm going to do a pumpkin for Halloween or for the fall. I'm going to make a snowman for Christmas. Maybe I can make cookies one day with the cookie dough. This dough is only for crafting. You don't eat this dough. Here's a reindeer. Maybe it's Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. And we did like a Christmas tree before. Kind of like the triangle that we made you think of a tree. All right, I'm going to press this down again. You know what I might even do? I think I'm going to take a little flour and add it to my rolling pin for fun. If you have a rolling pin, you want to put some flour on it and cover your whole pin all the way around because you don't want the dough to stick onto your rolling pin. And you can roll your dough. And you can roll it back and forth like I'm doing. Isn't that fun? And make it kind of smooth. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use your hands. And I think I'm going to make a Christmas tree. Look at that. How about a car? If you're a boy, you like to drive a car. How about a rocket ship? Take off to the moon. Look at that. Some other fun things you can do. Oh, here's another one I forgot. I have a train. I could do this part and this part together and look at choo-choo. So you can do that. Let's roll this up again. And make sure you put some more flour on your surface. Just a little sprinkle will do. Rub it with your hand. Yes, my hands are getting messy, but that's part of the fun, and it's okay. I did wear a little apron to cover my clothes and protect them while I'm working. If you have an old shirt, that's okay. It's something you could put in the washing machine. It'll be okay. So it's not like you're going to stain your clothes or anything. You'll be all right. I'm going to make my hand again. I just wiggle my hand in there and lift it up. There's my hand. Okay. With a couple more ideas of what you could do with your dough, you can make some animals at the zoo. I bet you love to go to see the animals at the zoo. I have a lion. I have a giraffe with a long neck. Ooh, I think the head stayed in there. Uh-oh. Well, we can pull that out later. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few more things you could do with your salto. I have mine spread out again, and here's an idea. Father's Day is coming up in June. I believe it's the 21st on a Sunday. You might want to make him a little gift. I'm thinking like maybe a paperweight. So you could take like a biscuit cutter and you can make a circle to make your paperweight, and then say his letter of his name is K for Ken, and you could just push the letter down a little, not cutting it out, and there could be an example of a paperweight for his desk. Then you would take like a spatula and just simply get under there carefully and just pick up your piece gently and move it to your parchment papered lined cookie sheet and just fix your paperweight the way you'd like it. I'm pretty happy with the way mine looks. And then I would bake that. Any pieces you bake would be at 220 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 hours, depending on the size of your piece and how thick it is. So you can take a look to see if it is cooked. And it's hard when you can knock on it. It's almost like a rock when it is dry and cool. So have a parent or caregiver help you with baking your pieces that you decide to bake. Some other ideas you can do are you can make a Christmas tree, say, ornament. You would cut it out with a cookie cutter. If you're going to make an ornament for Christmas, you'll take a toothpick and you'll just simply put it in there and make a circle. So when it bakes, that circle's still there. You would lift this up with a cookie or with a spatula and lift it and put it onto the cookie sheet with parchment lined cookie sheet. Bake it, like I said, and you'll have an ornament for Christmas. Once it's dry and hard, you would feed a ribbon through your tree, whatever color you decide. But before you put the ribbon in, you can paint it green with acrylic paint and a brush and give it a coat, maybe a second coat. But the first coat you'd let dry, maybe half an hour, and then you do another coat and let it dry. Once it's dry, you could flip it over and do that side 2 coats as well. Once it's completely dried, then feed your ribbon through. You can even take a Sharpie marker and write the year on the back and have it as a pretty ornament for your Christmas tree. And put it in a container with a lid, airtight for the holidays, and write Christmas, Salto Christmas ornaments, Zach made 2020. So you'll keep track of when you made it. That's another idea. And a final idea that I can think of is you could take, say, a piece of your clay. Let's take some of this out of the way. And let's shape this one. We're going to make a little heart pendant. So I'm going to take away some of the dough. And I'm going to just knead it. Like so with my hands. Press it down. And I'm going to make a heart with my hands. Just like that. You can do that. Okay. And once you have it the way you like it, you can also take the toothpick, make a hole in it. Oop, this one broke, but that's okay. And you would take the spatula, lift it, put it on your cookie sheet. Make sure you shape it again the way you need it. You could bake it, and once it's dry and cool, you could paint it red or pink and put a ribbon through it and give it to your mom for, Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, or just because you love her, or your grandma. So you can make a pendant to wear. You can make these things as gifts to give to your mother, your family, your friends, or even to your teacher. So those are some ideas of what you can do with your salt dough. But if you simply just want to play with it and mold it and just use your imagination, you can certainly do that as well. Now, with all the ideas I've given you, once say you bake your pieces in the oven at 220 degrees for 2 to 3 hours, you let them cool. You could paint them with acrylic paint. You can even keep them natural. Either way, but you can also use this product called Mod Podge. It's a clear coat, and you just take a paintbrush and you coat. Once your piece is dry and hard like a rock and you're done painting it, or if you want it natural colored, either way you can do this, but it has to be dry and hard and cooked. Then you can take the Mod Podge and brush it onto your piece with a paintbrush. Let it dry and it'll give it a clear coat and it will preserve your piece. I recommend doing one side, flipping it once it's dry, and doing the back side as well with the Mod Podge with a paintbrush. Let it dry so all sides of your piece have been coated with a clear coat and preserves it. All those pieces can go in a container airtight to preserve it when you're ready to give as a gift or to put on your tree or just to have for fun. Now, if you don't want to make anything like an ornament, that's fine. Just take your dough, be sure to put it in an airtight container to keep it so it can still be moldable like this or kneaded. Okay? If you leave it out, it will dry hard. If you want to not bake your piece, you can leave it out to dry for 2 to 7 days, turning it occasionally, and it will dry hard as a rock, and that is just good enough to work with to paint and also put Mod Podge to protect. So there is my video for working with a tactile sensory thing called salt dough. I hope you have a great time playing with your salt dough. I'm signing off for now. This is Miss Kim. Have a wonderful day. Remember, be happy and keep creating. Bye for now. Bye.